Hello friends of science. Today I want to show you my GitLab workflow and how I develop with the Zulu content management system. So first, here is the actual problem that I have, because now with the coronavirus we have to ship our events to a remote event. Normally you can buy a ticket for 10 euros to come to our event and we spend this to a social project. But this is not working for now, so I need here an optional text for the ticketed link, and I also want to remove the 10 euros, that I can say here is 0 euros. And the last thing that I want to do is to hide the FAQ part here. Okay, so let's go to the project. What is here? And now I also have to start my Docker Compose up -d for my project. I also have scripts to get the actual database from the live system and to get the shared files when I need it here, but this is in this moment not so important. The next thing I have to do is to make a branch for the actual task. So I say git checkout branch feature, and we have here our remote project. Okay, now I can develop things here. So when I see my local machine here, I have an admin interface, and I have now my Zulu backend. Here I got a project, and I want to make here the optional field for the buy ticket button. Okay, now here on PHP Storm we have here our configuration files. There is also a file for conferences, and in these conferences there is here a header section. You see this here, header section, and here is a donation, and now I can add here an optional price and an optional ticket text. So let's change to PHP Storm, and we have here somewhere our donation. Here's a donation, and I can say now here, let me add a text field for the optional price. And here a field for the optional button text. Text. So let me also fix this here. Okay, now I have here two new fields. Optional price and optional button text, and I think this is some near category. So I can say, okay, put this 3 items to 1 row. So I say here code span is 4. This is a 12 column grid here. And now also, I hope the fields are on one line. Here it is. This looks okay for me. And now I also want to have the checkbox where the FAQ is. The FAQ is down under, let me check. Oh, it's the last thing above the footer. Okay. So maybe I just do a new section here. We check the sections here and close them. Timetable, contact, price, highlights, location. And now I will add here a new section. FAQ. So here's FAQ, the headline in the backend, and now I add here a property with a checkbox that I say just here FAQ visible. Okay, and now when I reload this here, I have here the FAQ visible button. So for now the work is finished on this configuration file. I also have here a super good tool called Captain Hook, and Captain Hook can help me a lot with my linting. So when you see here, I have a Captain Hook JSON, and it can say, hey, please check this XML files here. So maybe I have here an error in this configuration files, and I want to protect me from issues that I commit to my remote system. For now, when I have this issue here, and this could happen, I just can see it when I'm logged into the backend, and now here the backend will not load, and here's a 500 error, and it will tell me that something is wrong with the configuration file here. Normally when I work here, and now I am on this task, on this step, then I can say, okay, everything looks fine for me and it's okay, and please commit this to my repository. So I say in git add all, and I say here something like add new file, add new fields to configuration file. Maybe we can do something better here. Add optional price and button and FAQ show button. And now when I press enter, the Captain Hook will run a pre-commit, and the captain is now here and say, there is something failed, And I will also see here that there is somewhere my conference has an error, and please fix it. So I cannot even push or even commit a bug to my repository, and this is super cool. So I just have to remove this little bug here, and now when I go back to the terminal and run my commit message here, then the captain say, hey, everything is okay, and this is super powerful. Okay, now we fix the backend and go to the Twig template in the frontend. The same structure from this configuration is here in templates, pages, and we have here our conferences Twig file. So our first step is to add the right things to the backend. We have now 0 donation, 0 optional price, and here is Slack registration. And we also make this here not visible. So it's saved. I think it's clearer when we say here this is FAQ invisible. It's clearer what we want to do with this button here. Maybe we didn't save. Okay, looks good. Invisible. Save and publish. Okay. And now we have all our data, and we can say, hey, we can just commit this here. Git it all. Fix visible bottom to invisible. So my linting is working every time when I commit something, and it's working super fast. So we got this conference here, and now I just say, okay, please give me here a dump of content, internal dump of content. Now I go to the front end, go to the event, and I go to the event, and when I see here, to move to the side and open it in a new window, then I will have here our optional price, our optional button text. When we check this here, you can also check here on the front end, we have this button, Tickets kaufen. Okay, there's also button text here, and this is here now our button text. That will bring this in a better view. Okay, it's not the best, but it's a way. So I can say switch to English. We can say here content dot is not empty. Then take this text and otherwise it's just tickets kaufen. Okay, let us see if this is working. Slack registration, everything is fine. So the next thing we have to do is to do the same with the price here. I have this counter somewhere. Euro, maybe I search for euro. Counter donation default is 10. Okay, so I have here something, but it's not working. Maybe we should write a test for it in the future, but for now we just check our new optional price. And now maybe it works. It's €0, but I also have to check what is when I removed it here. A longer task than I think in the beginning of it. Save and publish. Hope this is back to 10. This is working, and maybe then we check in 5. Okay, this works, and the last thing is that when we have pressed the invisible button, here are somewhere the FAQ. This is a section here, and we can say, okay, give me an if statement. And what can I say here? If content dot invisible is true, then say here render me the section, otherwise not. So the FAQ section is still there, it's not working. What is the problem? When it's invisible. Okay. Double. Okay, it's away now. Okay, cool. So this is now also working. We have to see what we've done. I think everything is in one commit. Okay. Now I can say git at all add remote features to conference twig file. Okay, now the task is finished. The next step is that I would push this to the remote repository. And now everything what I want to do as a developer is waiting for it that it is finished. I will show you now my GitLab pipeline. When I push this to GitLab, in this moment the GitLab pipeline will start to run. So I don't have anything to do with it, or must go to any server and make a checkout, make anything, pull, clear cache, and everything what happens in this moment will happen by GitLab. So I have here now my new push, and every time when is pushed something here to the remote system, the pipeline will start. The pipeline has a few steps. It's building a development image, and it's building the toolbox, and in this toolbox there is a parallel composer environment, and then it will deploy it. Then there is a static code analyze with PHP code sniffer, PHP stan, and the XML linter, and then there are also my acceptance tests. Now we will wait for this to be finished. So back on track, and the tests failed. Why? Maybe we can check this out. So we check here. Our tests failed, and we have here some problems. We will see where we have the URL. Past. Here is fail. So on my workflow, every feature has its own wildcard subdomain. So for now we can say we have here an URL feature minus remote project.develop.nevercodealone.de. And I know super often only developers check, is the start page running, everything is okay, please check the other stuff. And now we made something on our conference page, and maybe you checked it that I have forgotten to remove the dump from the Twig template. 500 unexpected dump tag on line 34. So when I open now the conference Twig, I have to remove this here and can say, okay, I fixed the forgotten dump block. from conference.html.twig. And I push this. By the way, if anybody has an idea how I can make this with my pre-commit command, this would be very helpful. The problem is here that when you use and find, you need here an Xcode 1 for the GitLab pipeline. So you have to make a little script that has a little translation. So find is okay, or it's not find, then it's 0, and when it's find, it's just 1 and no other digit. But that's not only by the way. So let me explain what happened here on this build pipeline and how the workflow is working. This is actually a Zulu CMS project, and this has the same requirements like other CMS projects. So I got a database and I have shared files. When I push something to our remote system, then there will be a copy of the actual database and of the actual shared folders. So I can see directly if something is working or if something can be added because I have the real data from the live system. This is super important for me to work very near to the live system. Now here was a typically error where you can say, hey, my local environment is working, and it's still working. You see that we have finished our work, say everything looks fine, and we just forget this dump. So it's about Composer. For the live system and live environments, you need to do in Composer install without any dev dependencies. So you have to make Composer install -- no -dev. We can say this is maybe here, this little Elvis. This is the live Composer. And now we have our legacy Composer. And this Composer is a full Composer install with the dev dependencies. We want to test our live system working with this elephant by this Composer environment. So we have to get them parallel. This is where you see the toolbox, and the toolbox is a duplication of the Composer Docker container. And so we can test live environment with our actually dev dependencies. And this is a super cool feature. When you see here our pipelines, and I also have to fix here something on the tests because they didn't fail actually, and I want to show you this feature, so I have to fix also my tests. But when you see here, I have to deploy 3 times because I make 3 changes. And this is also a thing what I want to bring to your mind. You deploy every time, and you have to deploy every time because you have to ship code, and it's not only on a Wednesday every 2 weeks, it's every day. With every commit you've done, with any push you made, you want to ship code to a new system, and you want to deliver code for your product owners, and this is all time. So for example, just now for this moment, for this video, I have to ship 3 times code to my feature environment. And you see here This is every time 7 minutes, and I can do things in the 7 minutes because I have this time now, and I can make a video, I can drink something, I can go around, I can make my head clear, and I also have super good tests that find errors. And every time when I have an error what is not detected, I just can add a new test to detect this little issue, and then I have a better software, and I can trust my software, and I can sleep well, and I have a much better life. So, tada! A few commits later, we are green. I also find here an issue in the imprint because I fixed my tests, and the tests show me that the imprint also has a 500. Down on the start page, there is the imprint, and the imprint is working now. And the problem on the live system is that I never checked the imprint. Okay, I checked it, but not good enough because I don't detect on 500 errors. And this is not working here. Okay, now we finished our task as developer. And as you see here, I have to make 4 little fixes on my code, and every time I had to ship it to my environment system to show it to the product owner that I have done the job. And now I can show him, hey, check out here, we have some features here on the backend, but maybe we couldn't get this imprint example here. The imprint is working, and he say it's okay, and the rest that I am doing I only will do here in GitLab. So we have here our last commit, and we can say okay, here is a fix for the imprint, and so on. We also have here our remote project feature, and what is done here today. 3 times it failed. On the last, everything was okay. And then I can say, okay, I do a merge request. When I work on a team, this is for the code review. I also see here, hey, there were 7 pipelines. The last is green. And I have here some changes here on my GitLab CI. I add the acceptance tests and make something on my conference XML file and something on my conference twig file, and I also do something on the imprint file, and I also add here something for my linked test to detect 500 errors. Maybe I have to check here in the future how I can get the HTTP response, but for now this is working. And I say okay, everything is fine, everything is clear, and I say submit merge request. Okay, and after that, here is an overview about merge requests. Normally, when you are working on Scrum or something else, you have a sprint, and on the sprint there are many features or many tasks, many tickets, and you have to review it. This is the second programmer who looks about it, and he say, okay, I check out here my changes, or the changes of Roland. Roland, check the changes of Roland. Say, okay, everything is fine here. Donation, code span in 1 line. This looks good for me. FHQ, FAQ invisible, and so on, and I say, okay, everything is clear, and I can say, hey, on the overview, all tests passed. Everything is fine, the code analysis is fine, there's nothing happened, everything is good for me. So I don't have to check if this is working. And I believe here in my tests, and then I can say, okay, merge this. This is all what I have to do here. And this is not what a super senior developer have to do, because everybody can do this here. I don't think now the code review here on stage, but when you maybe ship something from development to staging, or I ship here now something from a feature environment to a stage environment, then you just can click it here, and you don't need to know how, and then you don't need every time a DevOps team or something that you can say, hey, we need a new URL for our feature, and everything what we do here is done by GitLab. And this is really cool. So, new pipeline is going forward to master. And you see here our other stages. Just for now, we check the develop workflow, building the containers, deploy the containers, make a static code analyze, and test the front end. Now the live system. Building the containers, deploy the containers. We don't need the static code analyze here, but I want to test my front end. So we have here also the front end tests. And for now I make a break and we wait till we are there. So here we are, short before live. We have built actually a complete duplication of the actually live system. And we have tests here, the tests passed. We check this in a new tab. We have here our PHP training, we have here our start page, and we will see here that our imprint is working. But what is maybe more important is that we have here now in our admin interface our new features, because we were working on our remote Never Code Alone event. What is the actually database? When we check out here our tree, we will see that we don't have this remote event here because it's not the actual database. So everything is working fine here. We can say, okay, on our remote event, now we have it here. And when we want to say, okay, this costs nothing, we have this optional price here. Then it's reloaded and you see here that this is working. The other part was on the FAQ files. There was a button text. Slack registration I see it here live. And when I go down here and make the FAQ invisible, this is also working fine. I can say here, save as a draft. When the save is also working, this feature is proved. Everything is good here. And now I can say, hey, this is really cool. Go back to the pipelines. We have here our overview. And now I can say, when I check out the live system here, you will see that here the imprint is not working. We have here this internal 500. And now we can say, okay, please roll out. Now the live flag in the system will go to the new environment, what is a complete copy of the actual environment. So for understanding, we ship servers, we ship complete Docker environments, and we don't ship files here. This is a new kind of development, and this is a new kind of software delivery. Okay, here happens a few things to make this happen, and after that, when I do a reload here, it's green. And now we got this imprint here, and the full page is working. We can check here. We have our events working. We have here our, what else was it? The imprint is working, and when we log in here to our live system, we see that we can log in, and we have now our features here. We can say, okay, here the price is now 0, and we have this Slack registration here, and want to hide our FHQ files. We can say save and publish, and now everything is fine. So what can I say here? I need automated tests and automated deployments very often. I need to ship and deliver software fast, and it must be every time. When I'm on a project and I want to have something, I want to have a new button, I want to make a remote event and I need to change some text here, or I need a new link functionality or any feature, I have not the time to wait for it. Because when I want something, it must go live like this. It's not like this because it's every time a few minutes or something like that. You have here a process around about 5 to 10 minutes to deploy a feature. Then I can check the feature, and when I push it then to the live system, let me check it out. Maybe we have the times here. I think somewhere they are. So we have 7 minutes to make a feature, and we have 7 minutes to bring it live, and we can do it every time. And also we can say, okay, on the feature, when the tests are green, please auto merge it here to master or something else, so we can go forward to continuous delivery, and we have chances to make some improvements here on that. And this is what brings me a lot of time and a lot of fun, and so I can ship my software every time it's tested, it's working, and the clients are super friendly because we can support them with new features, and this is really cool. So last thing for you, what I can do for you, I can go back to the terminal and say git checkout master, and here's only one person working, that's me, and I don't do anything on master, and I cannot really do anything on master because I cannot push here. It's a protected branch. Okay, sure, I can make a force push, but who wants this? And when I make a fetch here now, there are some changes on the master because the changes comes by GitLab on my merge, and I then say, okay, please pull it, and then I have here my changes, and I say, okay, please give this to the community, because this project is on GitHub with all tests, with all GitLab CI settings, with every knowledge that we have. We bring this to you. You have it here, github.com/nevercodealone, CMS-Symfony-Zulu Git. All links are here in the video description. And yeah, when you like this video, this would be super important to me. So thumb up here, follow the channel, give me feedback. And in the future, I will show you some more videos about the tests in the base Zulu project, and check out my other tutorial videos, and see you, stay green and at home. Thank you.